In this episode of the Tick List, we'll be reporting on Will Bosi, who's made the second ascent of Stefano Ghisolfi's 9B plus Excalibur. The ascent comes exactly 2 years to the day that Stefano Ghisolfi made the first ascent. And in doing so, Will has joined an exclusive list of 9 people to have climbed French 9B plus, and an even more exclusive list of 3 climbers to have climbed French 9B plus and Font 9A. And those are Sean Bailey and Jakob the legend Schubert. For the geeks out there, we are not forgetting Will Bosi's 2021 route, King Capella, which he originally graded at French 9B plus. However, in time that has subsequently settled to French 9B. Still not easy. Will also sits at the top of the Font 9A tree, having climbed 4 in total, compared to Aidan Roberts and Simon Lorenzi, who have climbed 3. Excalibur lies on a largely blank 40-degree overhanging wall near Arco in Italy. Stefano Ghisolfi first tried the line in 2021, publishing his progress on YouTube and inviting high-risk friends and climbing partners, including the likes of Adam Ondra, Will Bosi and Jakob Schubert. Dangerous people to let loose on your project. Upon making the first ascent, Stefano had this to say on Instagram. "It's hard to imagine a more perfect line than this. I have to admit the process has been extremely difficult. From the first time on it, figuring out the beta and thinking it was impossible, to the send go where I felt solid and confident. But the best thing about this project has been the people around it. Sharing moments together and trying it with some of the best climbers in the world, but more importantly, with my friends." Will first tried Excalibur in late 2022, and in total has had 21 sessions on the route, although only 10 of these are what he would describe as good sessions, as the route has typically been in quite poor condition whilst he's been out there, with it having rained a lot. Stereotypically speaking, when British climbers leave the UK to go to Italy, they expect lots of sunshine. But in the case of Will, and this particular route, he has had a hard time, with a lot of rain, meaning that the top holds in particular have remained wet. Speaking of the ascent, Will said, "This is one of the craziest and most rewarding lines I have experienced, and pulling onto the top of the route is something I will always remember. Excalibur was my longest project on a rope since Mutation, so I was psyched to piece it all together finally. The conditions make a huge difference with this route. Too hot and the holds don't work, too humid and the holds don't work, but too cold and your fingers go numb and don't work. Lastly, you need good skin for the holds to properly bite, so I needed everything to come together to grab the ascent." On the day itself, Will's first attempt, he described what he had as the perfect attempt. It all flowed smoothly and he got to his previous high point feeling good, but disaster struck when he missed a hold. He then proceeded to have an hour's rest, warm back up again and give it another go, only to find it much, much tougher. But he battled on and eventually made it to the top, doing it on the go where it felt harder. When it comes to the grade, Will said he felt a little unqualified to comment, given that in recent years his sole focus has been absolutely smashing in 9A boulder problems. But he did say it felt 9B plus for sure. For those who are interested in how the route breaks down in bouldering terms, Will has described it as being a Font 8B into a Font 8B plus. As for what's next for Will, is he getting back into his sport climbing? Can we see him climbing a French 9C this year? Well, first things first, he's got to get himself back to the Czech Republic to repeat Adam Ondra's Terra Nova. Adam originally graded Terra Nova Font 8C+. However, the evidence suggests otherwise, and it'd be really good to see Will complete this now multi-year project and finally put to rest what grade it actually is. If you want to read the full interview we conducted with Will, click on the link here. Alternatively, please like this video and subscribe to our channel.